Armor builds are a much bigger part of Ragnarok than they were in the previous game, with players choosing armor depending on what they want the God of War to be capable of. Your playstyle here really is going to be best suited by different types of armor, so there isn't going to be one catch-all armor for everyone. Depending on what you like to do and how you like to fight, you'll end up finding an armor set of various pieces that work best for you. However, to give you a good idea of what's available and things that you might like, here is a selection of armor sets for players to choose from, with options for the early game, the mid game and the late game, things like best for aggro and defense, and a best armor set overall. Something else that you need to know is that armor comes in many forms, and a single set usually has a very particular function and synergy. For example, in the Lunda set, the chest piece grants poison effects to Kratos, while the wrist and waist pieces increase damage done to poisoned enemies. Consequently, there is rarely any advantage to mixing up different bits of armor from different sets, as they're unlikely to pair as well together as armor specifically from the same set. So keep the armor together if you can. So for the best God of War Ragnarok armor that you can get, the Steinbjorn armor set is fantastic, but it's from the late game and final sequences of God of War Ragnarok. There's nothing better that we could find in this incredibly resilient armor set. It's a resilient build that actually grants more defense than the UI bar can even show, as well as granting lifesteal and stunning shockwaves when Kratos takes damage, which won't matter much because your defense is so high. So not only will even the toughest bosses do piddling damage when they hit you, Kratos auto-retaliates and even gets health back from hitting them. So how do you get this amazing armor? Well, once you have the Draupnir spear, head to the Lake of the Nine of Midgard, and at its southern edge behind some breakable ice, you'll find the mystical heirloom, which can be used to awaken 4 trolls frozen as statues. The slumber stones they drop can be turned at any blacksmiths into this tanky armor. If you're having trouble finding them, check out the video in the description below that we've linked, and is a full guide to getting this amazing armor set. The best mid-game armor is Lunda's armor set. Lunda's armor is pretty great for a few reasons. First of all, you can get it pretty early on, but more importantly, it's a solid option for a multitude of reasons. The chest piece has a high chance to inflict poison on unarmed attacks, parries and blocks, doing bonus damage and weakening enemies' attacks, while the other 2 pieces increase all damage done to poisoned enemies. Plus, the whole set nicely boosts strength and luck, among a few others. This will even carry you comfortably into the late game if you're willing to upgrade it. Now, how to get Lunda's armor set. To get Lunda's armor set, it's a reward for the Lunda's Lost Armor labor, in which 3 damaged pieces of the armor are found around the river Delta. This opens up after fighting the Nidhogg boss fight in Vanaheim. Just go back to the smith's shop in Freya's camp to get it, then search the areas marked here to find them as artifacts. Once you have them, head back to Lunda to get them all fixed up. So, what's the best early game armor? It's basically the first optional set you can get. The Dwarven Nidavellir set is designed to prove the value of doing side quests and favours, and it does that nicely. A vitality and defense boosting set, the armor chest piece grants health for stun grabbing enemies, while the wrists and trousers reduce the rate at which stun bars drain, making it much easier to enact these health restoring finisher moves. So how to get this early armor set? This early game armor becomes accessible after Mimir will have some dialogue prompting the start of the In Service of Asgard favor, which has you clear 3 mining rigs of enemies and then destroy the rigs themselves, marked on the map here. Take the ore that each rig drops back to the Huldra brothers and they can forge it into some shiny new armor for you, which should help you loads in the early game.
What can I make for you?
So what's the best offensive armor if you like doing high damage? Well, the Guarding Light armor, aside from boosting strength, it also puts luck-focused boosters on your attacks. All attacks you do have a moderate chance to boost strength, runic or luck, as well as having a chance to do critical hit explosions on every attack you make. With fast-hitting combos like the Blades of Chaos, you'll be getting these buffs and bursts constantly. So how do you get this offensive armor? Well, unsurprisingly, it's part of the Guiding Light favor in the Lake of the Nine, where you find runes and messages left behind by Tyr on his destroyed statue. While not an official reward, right next to each message, which you can find on this map, is a buried treasure with one of the 3 armor pieces in, glinting gold to make sure you don't miss them. So all you have to do once you've got this favor is go and pick them up, which is great. So if you want an armor set that's a bit more defensive, then the Raven Tyr's armor is great. It's a reward for advancing through the Eyes of Odin questline. The Raven Tyr's armor provides a very high defense, as well as a small chance to heal you on every hit you land, as well as increasing the potency of all healing you get. If you pair it up with the Leviathan Axe's Grip of the Fallen Alchemist, which has a high chance to restore health with every Serpent Snare attack, this turns into a great armor. In order to get this health boosting armor, you only need to find 18 of Odin's ravens. Go to Niflheim, look under the raven tree, and you should be able to pop open some chests to get the armor sets. If you need help finding any of the ravens, we have a full video which lists all of the ones that you need to get throughout the whole game. Go and check out our YouTube channel to find that ravens video, which should help to get you at least the 18 that you need for this armor.